is the creative word quizzes. And when you're doing these creative words, they are going to, there's going to be one section on the exam that is going to very much resemble these quizzes. So I want to point them out because I think that if you can do these, you are going to be in really good shape on the exam. And sometimes students like call me and go, I haven't had any time to study at all, and I'm going to bomb this test. And probably my #1 tip would be go print all of your creative word quizzes, and you can do that by clicking on the point score in your grade book, and study these terms, because if you know them, you're going to do, you won't bomb the exam even if you don't do anything else. So when you look at these, you'll see that they have underlined italicized hints. So this one is inflammation of the intestines, especially the small intestine. And so the underlined hints were inflammation and intestine, and that's why it's enteritis. If it said inflammation of the intestines in the stomach, then it would be gastroenteritis. So be really careful that when you're looking at these, that you pay really close attention to the underlying italicized hints. They're there to help you. Okay, surgically cutting or making an incision, and we've got into the abdomen. Be careful with your terms. You've got, in this case, somebody put gastrostomy. Ostomy would have been making a new connection, cutting into something and making a surgical opening for a connection, so that wouldn't be right. But laparotomy would be, otomy would be making an incision, and laparo would be abdomen. So gastro would be close if you said, but it's not right. Also, sometimes people get creative and they make up words with these. You can't do that either. When you do these, you have to use real words. So you're using your clues. You're looking at your study guide to see what words are on there. All of them are going to come from the study guide. Of course, in the exam, you can't do that. But when you're doing the creative words, you can. And use your parts. And if that panics you that you're going to have to do this on the exam, don't let it, because out of the 125 points, there's going to be 20 questions that you have to do that on. There's actually 30 on the first exam, because a bunch of them are just suffixes and prefixes. So there's more because you only have two systems to do definitions. But even if you got them all wrong, you would still do reasonably well, and you're not going to get them all wrong. So don't panic about that one section. And then sometimes when people get done, they say, oh, if I just spelled better, I'm sure I would have done much better. I'm going to spend all of my time working on spelling for the next session. And that doesn't really work out too well, because we give half credit. Each of these is worth a point, and if you spelled it wrong but you were close, we're going to give you half a point. And so the most you can lose on this exam for spelling is 10 points. And usually when people tell me that they really bombed it because of the spelling, when I go look at how they did on the other parts, they're really not accurate with what was really hurting them on the exam. One more tip on these.